Hi guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to do a soft smoky eye and contoured skin. This is the beautiful Maddie. Let's get started. I'm going to start by prepping Maddie's skin with the Skin Smoothing Cream by Dermalogica. So this is a super hydrating cream. I've used this quite a few times. It's one of my favorites to use. It just gives the skin a really nice glow without being too heavy. And Maddie has normal skin, but we just want to make sure that the skin is going to be nice and hydrated. I am going to use some powders today to do some contouring, so we don't want the skin to look flat at the end. So it's really important to prep the skin properly with the correct amount of hydration. Just going to go in with a little bit more and just working down the neck. Nice long neck. And just taking time just to get around the corners of the nose, under the eye, and just make sure that it's all worked into the skin. So I'm going to prep the lips with the Frank Bod Lip Balm. And just make sure that they're nice and hydrated. And it's always important to do this right at the beginning of your makeup so the balm has time to sink in and hydrate the lips before applying any lipstick later on. I'm going to go in with some highlighter now. So this is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Opal. So this is a really warm highlighter. And we just want the skin again to be illuminated from underneath the foundation. So it's just going to give us a really subtle glow. And you can use your fingers or a beauty blender to apply. I'm just going to soften that with the blender. Do a tiny bit on the nose. And we're just going to keep the center of the face free. And just make sure that you always wet your beauty blenders before you use them. And that just gives the skin a really soft glow. I think it's one of my favorite highlighters to use. Okay, so I'm just going to brighten up under the eye with the Becca Under Eye Brightener. So this just really brightens up under the eyes and just really helps with any discoloration, and it just shines through the foundation. It looks amazing in photos. And I'm just going to go around the nose as well. And under the chin, any areas that you just want to brighten. And this is all before foundation because we want it to show through the foundation and get that really nice glow from within. Okay, so I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty foundation. This is the Hydrating Pro Filter. So I'm mixing together 385 and 190, just making sure that it matches Maddie's skin tone. And then I'm going to go in with my Zoeva Flat Top foundation brush. Adding a little bit more of the lighter color. And just working that over the skin. Maddie has amazing skin, so I don't want to go too heavy on the foundation. So the look that I'm doing today is going to be perfect for bridesmaids. You could also use this on bridal or just a nice soft makeup look. Always making sure that you go down the neck and along the jaw. So the reason why I use a light and a dark color is so I don't have to carry so many different colors in my kit, and you can just blend and mix the color to suit each client's skin tone. Obviously it's good to have different undertones in, cool and warm and olivey undertones, but it just saves you financially as a makeup artist and also just saves your back from carrying around so many products. And I'm just softening as I go. I want to leave Maddie's beautiful freckles out, so I am just doing kind of quite a sheer base. I think it's really nice to, unless the client wants you to cover them up, I think if someone's got beautiful freckles, then it's really nice to let them shine through. And just softening everything, making sure that each layer that you do is nice and blended. Okay, so I'm going to conceal under Maddie's eyes with the Fenty Beauty concealer in 220, and this is a yellow base concealer. So I just love the finishes of these. They're just super hydrating, but they also give you really good coverage, which is perfect for bridal and any makeup that you need to last all day. I also find that these concealers don't settle in the creases and they don't dry powdery. And just making sure that it all blends in seamlessly. So I'm just going to soften the concealer under the eyes with the mini beauty blender, also by Kitology. And these are just perfect for working underneath the eyes in any small areas. And then just close your eyes for me. And I'm just gonna really lightly go over the eyes. I am gonna prep the eyelid as well, but I just like to always use the residue on the brush or the blender just to go over the eyelid. Just to make sure everything is looking flawless. Okay. So I'm going to prime the eyelids with the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof base. So just close. This is in the color Dark. And I just love these primers. I feel like if you have a light, medium and dark in your kit, then you can pretty much work on any skin tone. These also just look beautiful just on their own as a really natural eyeshadow. So you could use this for Mother of the Bride, or anybody that wants just to be really natural. Just bring your head around a little bit. And I always go all over the lid, underneath the brow, patting it in, making sure there are no harsh edges. And I'm just gonna soften that with a clean brush, making sure it's all even. And this product does dry, so you need to work with it quite quickly, making sure that it's nice and even. And I'm just going to go underneath the eye as well, so just open for me and look up. So again, this is a Real Techniques brush. This is a shading brush. I love to use these brushes for creams as they just diffuse the product really well. And then do the same on the other eye. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way Natural Nude palette again, and just going in with this seashell color here and using a Morphe M573 brush and just sweeping over the whole lid. So this is a really neutral color, and this just sets the eyeshadow base and just creates the perfect canvas. And we also just want to make sure that the skin feels nice and smooth, so any darker colors don't grab on. And then just repeat the exact same thing underneath the eye, so just look up for me. Just working underneath. This is an Anastasia pencil brush. I find the Anastasia Beverly Hills brushes are really nice to blend with. This one is an A14 brush. So I'm now going to go in and use this shade called Coca, which is a warm taupey color, and just loading up my brush. This is a Morphe M330 brush, and just tap off the excess. I'm going to use a tissue just to protect the skin, and we just want to go on the outer corner, so just close, working into the crease and along the lash line. And then softening everything as you go. And this is the key to a flawless blend, is just softening each layer. This is an Anastasia Beverly Hills brush A10. And then just repeating the same on the other eye. I'll just bring the chin around there, perfect. I always like to go in and press in the eyeshadow with one brush and then soften and blend with a clean brush. I'm just taking it across the crease and slightly out to the brow. And just making sure that you take your time to blend this out. This is going to be a really soft smoky eye, so we just want it to look nice and diffused. I'm now just going to go in with the blending brush and just add a little bit more product, tapping off the excess. And these are one of my favorite blending brushes at the moment. I've gone back and ordered quite a few of them. I find that they just really diffuse the product really well. They're nice and soft and easy to work with. And I'm going to do exactly the same underneath with the same cocoa color. Load up my brush. I'm using the mini pencil brush. Just bring my head around by Suku. And just trace underneath the eye. And just making sure that you always connect the top and the bottom colors together. And then just bring your head around. And then repeat the same underneath. And you just want to make sure that you're going right to the end of the eyebrow. You don't want to stop short of the eyebrow, otherwise you can make the eyes appear smaller. So just making sure that you take the product right the way to where the brow stops. And that will give you the most elongated eye. I'm going to now use this warm rose color. So I'm working with mainly matte eyeshadows today. And this is just a really soft, just close for me, pinky tone. A lot of brides will actually request pink eyeshadow, which can sound quite daunting, but you just want to pick the right tone. So this is a nice warm rose color, which is perfect for medium to dark skin tones. If the skin is really fair, then you can use something a little bit lighter pink, like a dusty pink as well. And just making sure that you're just using it kind of subtly on the eyes. So then just bringing the look together, I'm just using a clean blending brush. And then just open. So that's really flattering on Maddie's skin tone. So the pinks just create a really nice soft bit of detail without being too heavy. And then to really define the eyes, I'm going to use this truffle color. This is all working within the same pinky undertones. And this is a Morphe 508 brush. And again, just using my tissue just to tap off the excess. I'm going to go underneath the eye first, so I'll just bring your head around. So just making sure that you really hug the lash line because this color is quite pigmented. You can use any brown or aubergine color or eggplant. And then once you've placed the color in place, then just soften with your under eye blending brush, making sure that's all seamless. And then repeat on the other side. And obviously you can tailor make this to your bride's individual needs. If they want to go heavier, then you can obviously go heavier. And if they want to go lighter, then you can just step back from the darker colors. And just always making sure that you're blending every layer. And then going to repeat the same on the top. So just close, that's it. Tapping off the excess. And I like to just push the product into the lash line. I'm not going to be using any eyeliner on this look. I just want to use the shadows to create the depth and dimension. Working across the lashes into the inner corner. And you can go slightly thicker and higher on the outer corner, just to give a little bit more shape. And just soften everything again and just open, just checking that everything's nice and blended. And then just repeat the same step on the other eye, just making sure that you're being nice and gentle. I like to flip the brush up vertically when I do the other side. It just helps with your placement. And then again, just going back in and softening any harsh edges. And working up a little bit into the crease. And then just open. And just making sure when the eyes are open that your top lash line and your bottom lash line connect. So I'm pretty happy with the eyes there. I just want to do a little bit more intensity on the outer corners. So I'm going back in with my 330 tapered brush. So this is perfect for getting in to the outer corners of the eye and using that truffle color. And you can just do this with the eye open. So if you just look straight ahead for me and just catching the outer corner of the eye. And when you do this with the eye open, you can see how far you're taking it. So I just want to do just a little bit on the outer eye and then close for me. And just making sure that that's all nice and blended. Placing the color down and then softening. Okay, so I'm just going to do the other side. So just tap off the excess on the tissue and then go into the eye. And I like to do this because you can then go back onto the tissue and pick up a little bit of extra product, and it just gives you a little bit more without overloading the brush. And just softening the outer corners. And then open. Okay, perfect. So once I've done all the shading and I'm happy with the shape, I always then go back into my lighter color and just reinforce that shade. So this is just a warm rose again, and that just makes the eye pop. And also working in the thin layers just help keep the eyeshadow on all day. And I'm just going on the inner corners and onto the middle of the eye, using my clean brush just to soften. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with a mini eyelash curler and just lifting up. So sometimes I like to use a mini one because you can really just get into the corners a little bit more. People that have bigger eyes, it tends to be a little bit trickier to use the normal eyelash curler. And I find these are slightly less daunting as well. Just being really careful. Lifting up the lid as you go. Perfect, and then just look straight ahead. Great. So I'm just going in with the Kevyn Aucoin curling mascara. As you guys know, this is the only mascara that I use. It's the only one that I found that doesn't smudge, doesn't flake, doesn't transfer. So there really is no need to change. And just lifting through the lashes. Maddie does have beautiful dark lashes anyway, but we're just gonna add a little bit more drama with some individuals just on the outer corners of the eyes. So I'm using the Hava Beauty Co lashes. This is number 10, and these are a double lash, so they're a little bit thicker, but they're not too long, so they're just gonna create a nice soft wispy lash. That's it, and then just placing them at the outer corners of the eyes. So I'm just popping those on. And I don't really use these ones on blondes, especially for bridal, because the double lashes are quite thick and they're very dark in color. So they can look a little bit stark on blondes, but perfect for brunettes. And just open. Cool, so that just gives a little bit of extra drama to the outer corners of the eye. And I'm just going in with one more, just look down. So that's 5 lashes on one side. And then open, perfect. And just make sure that they're all nice and sitting nicely. And then just bring your head around and look down. And just repeat the same on the other eye. So I find these lashes are perfect for brunettes because they have a little dark band at the base, which helps to create a little bit extra drama. But I find if you're using them on blondes, it can be too obvious, whereas these just blend in seamlessly. And just open for me, gorgeous. And just do one more, down. And then I'm just gonna put one number 8 on the inner corners just to make sure that everything is blending through. And just open and look down. I find this is the best way to apply lashes, with the eyes open and looking down. And then open for me. Okay, great. Down again. And then open. Perfect. So I'm gonna contour the skin now. This is Mecca Maxima Off-Duty Contour Stick. So this product has been sterilized just for tutorial purposes. I'm gonna use it directly on the skin. And we're gonna go around the top of the hairline and then underneath the cheekbone, underneath the jawbone. You can do a little bit under the chin, and then if you turn your head that way, and then right underneath the cheekbone on the other side. I'm then gonna go in with my small beauty blender, and we're just gonna soften. So you need to be really careful when you're contouring. A lot of people will request contouring, but they don't really understand what it means. It really was just designed to add definition to the skin, and it kind of came into the mainstream with the Kardashians. And then I'm going to use my large beauty blender on the cheeks, and just making sure that you're just using the tip. You don't want the product to go too far down to the jawline. You just want to make sure that you're keeping it within that area, and it will just bring dimension underneath the cheekbones. So when working with contour, you just need to make sure that you're using it sparingly. It was never really designed to be used in the mainstream. It was always for photographic work, and the rise of celebrity brought it into the mainstream. So just making sure that you're just working with a small amount. You don't want the contour to come too far down the chin. We just want to keep it really tight underneath the cheekbone. And you also don't want to bring it any further than the apples of the cheeks, because otherwise it's going to drag down the face. So it really is there just to make areas pop. So dark colors will push features in, and you can use a highlighter on top to bring the features forward. And that's how you make the cheekbone pop. And just bring your head around. And just making sure that that's nice and soft. And these Mecca Max contour sticks are actually really reasonable in price, so I like to use them as well. And then just underneath the chin, this is good to do if anyone has a rounded face. Not that you have a rounded face, but I'm just showing you how to work it. And then underneath the jaw as well. So now I'm just going back in with my concealer, and just look up for me. And again, once you've worked with the contour, you can use the concealer also as a bit of a highlighter just to make the under eye pop. And this is your time just to go in and perfect the skin and make sure that everything is looking flawless. And we can still see the beautiful freckles, and the skin still looks glowing. Okay, so I'm using my Stila Color Convertible in Camilla. This is such a great color to have in your kit. This is a Crown Dual Fiber brush in 427, and we're just going over the top of the contour onto the apples of the cheeks. And this is the perfect blush for Maddie. And just bring your chin around. And again, it just gives you a nice color, but without covering up any freckles. You can still see beautiful features of the skin through the foundation and also through the blush. And then just go back in with your blender. I'm going to use on the eyebrows just a little bit of Gimme Brow. So this is by Benefit. Maddie has amazing eyebrows, so we don't need to worry too much. And I'm just going to brush them through. So I'm just going to set the skin now. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Powder. Just going to go into the T-zone. Just making sure that that's all soft. So just using the powder, you can use any powder really. I'm just taking off the shine from the forehead and around the cheeks and the chin. And you can also set a little bit underneath the eyes. This brush is by Surratt, and it's just super soft. It feels lovely on the skin. So I'm just going in with a little bit of the NARS Casino bronzer just to reinforce, just turn your head that way, just to reinforce the contour a little bit, and this just sets the contour. I don't want to overuse too much powder on the skin. I'm just going straight in with the bronzer. And that'll lock in the contour. And then just bring your face across. Always using a small brush for contouring. And it's really important to do the hairline if the client or the bride has a hair up, especially by just placing some contour around the hairline. You just diffuse everything. In pictures, it will look so much nicer. So one of the last things I'm going to do is do the bottom lash line. So I always just like to leave the bottom mascara till last. I want to make sure that everything is in place and I'm happy with the look before I lock in the mascara. I always just take the time to go in underneath the eye and just make sure that there's no creasing and everything is nice and soft. And using a mini mascara wand, and just bring your wand up vertically and just catching the bottom lashes. I'm not going to use any lip liner in this look. I just want the lips to be nice and soft. This is the Honey Love lipstick by MAC. This is a matte lip color. It's a great nude to have in your kit. And I'm going to leave the balm on because I don't want it to be too drying on the lip. We've got a little bit of detailing in the eyes, so a nice nude lip complements. And again, this is perfect for bridesmaids. Just a nice understated lip. Okay, and I'm going in now with my Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Fenty Glow. This is, again, a really universal color to have in your kit. I find it works really well with brunettes and it just softens any lipstick. You can also use it on its own. It also tastes really good. It's like watermelon. So the final thing I'm going to do for the skin is just make sure that the skin's looking perfect. So this is the Kevyn Aucoin Blush and Sculpting Palette. So I'm going in with the blusher here. It's like a multi-dimensional blusher. It's super pretty on the skin. And just on the apples of the cheeks. And then the final thing is some highlighter. So this is the Flash, which is great on darker skin tones and brunettes. Just loading up a fan brush. And if you just turn your head to the side. So I'm just catching the top of the cheekbone. Everything is quite matte, so we've done a matte eye. So we just want to bring a little bit of glow to the skin with your highlighter. And I'm super happy with this look. This is your matte smoky eye with contoured skin.